and we welcome you back to Birmingham. Charles Edmond here, our producer Cedric Tillman, and Jay Miles, and John Grant, the executive director of the Celebration Bowl MEAC SWAC Challenge. Now, some people say SWAC MEAC Challenge, but I was corrected on that MEAC SWAC Challenge.
Absolutely. But thank you so much, Charles, for having me here. It's always wonderful, to be with you. You have always been gracious to us and allowing us the opportunity to come and be with you and talk to your fans.
Well, you gave me a brutal reality of a packed house, a packed stadium versus TV ratings. The packed house is good. It's good window dressing. But at the end of the day, if there are no eyeballs watching this stuff, it doesn't really matter. You kind of drilled that home to me. And so I always take that.
Well, it's important. And I love what the SWAC conference is doing. I love what the commissioner's done today when he announced, the rollout of the SWAC digital network with the number of games that are being carried there this year, some 40, I believe I remember the number being. So those kinds of opportunities is what will grow the member institutions. It'll also grow the conference. And so the more people that you can expose the student athletes to and expose the universities to, the better it is.
Well, one of the discussions was the window between the SWAC championship game and the Celebration Bowl last year. And of course, you educated me again in terms of how TV controls money and controls schedules.
Well, that's true. And talking to the coaches, well, let me say first, it was important for us to protect the window for the Cricket Celebration Bowl. We need to be first. For this game to continue to grow and thrive, we have to be first to open the bowl season. That is when you're first at anything, that's a significant position for us. So yes, we had to move up with the college ball playoff expansion, moving into the week where we moved up a single week. But of course, we got the feedback from the SWAC that, we didn't have much prep time. But, in talking to coaches, because before we even came out with that, made sure we did our due diligence. And the coaches were like, look, let's just play football. And so the week off, some said, hey, it's better to keep playing. Some thought, a week off was helping the MEAC conference of the few weeks that they had off. But I think it's been demonstrated over the last 2 years with Florida A&M in 2023 and with Jackson State last year that it doesn't matter. If you got a good team, you got good coaches and good leadership, just play football.
Yeah, and T.C. Taylor did that. Jackson State did that. And so you've got Grambling that did it, the first team to win the Celebration Bowl, and then Florida A&M and Jackson State. The SWAC is kind of catching up in terms of the number of wins versus MEAC versus SWAC. SWAC kind of catching up a little bit.
Well, yeah, and you have to have that. You want to have a competitive balance. As you know, I'm a MEAC guy, but when it comes to this, people will ask me, well, who would you prefer to win? The champion. And it doesn't matter to me personally, and I don't think it really matters to the broader viewership who are watching. Of course, it will matter to the conferences, but to the broader viewership, which millions of people, they want to see a great competitive championship level game, and I think we're proud that the MEAC and the SWAC in this space has delivered that.
Well, you look at the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Talk a little bit about that. Southern University, North Carolina Central. That's going to be an intriguing matchup.
It is. And going back again to the comment I made about the bowl season and being first, the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge, again, we open all of college football, being a part of the first games in week 0 to open the season, which has really put that property in a unique position that over the last 2 years, we're the second most watched game on that day. And the most watched games have been played abroad. So in 2023, Air Force and Notre Dame were in Ireland. In 2024, Georgia Tech and Florida State were in Ireland, the number 1 watch game. The number 2 game, again, being the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge, that made it the most watched game played in America. And think about that now. The most watched game played in America, and we broke the viewership record for it last year. And that was a record we set in 2023 and broke that in 2024.
And of course, the Jaguar Nation coming to Atlanta, and that's going to be Coach Oliver and Coach Graves. That's going to be a pretty good, interesting matchup. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Going to be an interesting matchup. You know, the last time, and actually the only time that these two teams met was in 2006, when North Carolina Central went down to Southern and won the game 27-20. So we're looking for an opportunity here to really to see what these great coaches are going to do and to open the season for us.
You know what I learned about week 0, and I was on different podcasts. Week 0 is unique, that you have the MEAC SWAC Challenge, but you also have the FCS Kickoff Classic, and I think that's along that same week. But you cannot play, and I'm thinking, well, let's see if we can get in that Kickoff Classic. But if a team is in week 0, there cannot be another team, SWAC team or MEAC team, to participate during that week.
Under the current rules of the NCAA, a conference they get an exemption to put a team in week 0, and the only other requirement is that the game must be nationally televised. Now, of course, you know that rule is changing. They changed the rules so that next year, week 0 is going to be open for FCS teams to be able to play more without getting the approval, or even without the requirement of it being nationally televised. So the beautiful thing about the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge is because we are a game on network television in prime time at 7:30 in a great TV market, which is Atlanta. And so we see this as still a great opportunity for us this year. Southern and North Carolina Central, August the 23rd at Center Park Stadium, 7:30 p.m. on ABC. And if you want information, you can visit MEACSWACchallenge.com for all information about the game.
Well, I got to ask. I think it was brought to my attention, but I might have forgotten. When is Alcorn? Is Alcorn coming up here in the next few years? It kind of slipped my.
Well, your AD and I are in conversations on that now. We do have teams already committed through 2028, I believe, 2028.
Okay.
So we are in conversations to get the Braves back in Atlanta.
Yeah. 22. So the next available window is 2029.
That's correct.
How do you go about it? How do those conversations work when it's time to look at? Once you get beyond the window, it's time to put the matchups together. What do you look at?
Well, that's a really good question, because we get asked that a lot. But we're looking at things like, first we look at geography. Second, we're looking at what fans might want to see. What are the good matchups that we can put on the field that would really be entertaining for fans? And third is we certainly look at, is the team winning? Are they competitive? I should say that. Are they competitive? Because the last thing you want to do is put something together for the sake of putting something together, and it's not appealing to the viewer. And so we really take into consideration, viewers and people who are watching, because 70% of the people who watch our games are non-African American. Mm-hmm. So we have a tremendous opportunity to not only present them with competitive football, which they want to see, but also an opportunity to educate them about the value of historically black colleges and universities, and we try to do both.
How are the ticket sales going for the MEAC SWAC?
Fantastic, because what happens, just like anything else, we came out of the chute. There was a lot of activity, but once we hit media day, which is where we are now in the media days, the trajectory goes from like this to like that.
Yeah.
And so we're already seeing that happening as media days take place, and now fans are really turning their mind to football.
So the Celebration Bowl that week, do you foresee in the future that 2-week window, even though you said coaches say, hey, let's play ball, it doesn't matter if it's a week, 2 weeks, whatever, do you see that 2-week returning between?
I don't. Because, with the CFP, they're talking about even further expansion. So
you said 16 teams last year. You said it's coming.
It's going to come. They're talking about right now they're at 12. Will they stay at 12? Will they go to 14? Will they go to 16? But
I think it's going to be 16.
Ultimately, it's going to be 16, and
Yeah.
we're just going to have to look and see, what that's going to look like once that evolves. But right now, they're at 12. They haven't made a decision about expansion to this point, although we all know it's coming. But do I see us going back to the two? I don't.
Wow.
I don't at all. I think that we are in where we need to be. We really are, because we got to stay. We got to be first.
Yeah.
If we're not first, we're last.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be in the bowels of the bowl season, because then you just become another bowl. But to open it with the championship game, and then to have the CFP and Rick Clark and these guys are doing a great job over there closing out the season with the championship games, is what makes college football fantastic.
Well, I'll take what we got. I'll take being first week 0. I'll take being the first bowl. I'll take those things because it's generating a lot of buzz.
And that's what we need. So, I say people don't really know what they want until you give it to them. And we always hear this too, you never know how much you can bear. God never puts more than you can bear. Last year, the last 2 years, it was demonstrated that, that time off didn't matter. The SWAC just had to play better football.
Yeah.
And they're doing that. And so what that means now that, to be competitive, MEAC's going to have to even play better football. So everybody wins out of this. But more importantly, the fans win because they're getting to see, exceptional college football.
Mr. Grant, we appreciate it when we talking again.
Thank you so much for having me again, my friend.
It's always good to talk with John Grant. I mean, him and I, we've had conversations about a lot of different stuff, and he shares with me stuff, and the MEAC SWAC Celebration Bowl doing well. We'll take a time out here. TSU's coaches talking with the SWAC. We've got other coaches that will be coming in, and we'll take a break here. We'll be right back after this.